was home sweet home for the Birds. A 24-7 victory. Jalen Hurts airs it out 53 yards to Quez Watkins to the house. Now Hurts, he keeps it himself. He starts running. This is what he does best. Gets that first down. He keeps going. You think he's stepping out? Nah, he's going to fight for it. He goes all the way for his second rushing touchdown of the night. How about the defense? Kirk Cousins, he's looking. He finds Darius Slay. That's his first interception of 2 on the night. And again, he throws it. Avonte Maddox comes up with the INT. Welcome, Eagles fans, to the Postgame Show presented by Rico. I'm Gabriella DiGiovanni, joined by Fran Duffy and Ike Reese. Eagles fans, hold your ears. Ike.
Victory! Woo!
Ike had coffee at 10:30, so this is going to be a long night. This is going to be a fun show. I am excited about tonight.
Buckle in, Eagles fans.
That's right, I had 2 cups. Yes, I wanted.
Jalen Hurts had one of the best games of his career, and I think that was one of Ike's best victories of his career as well.
Well, it's been that type of night. I mean, quite frankly, the Eagles, outstanding, big game. I thought it would be a great, not necessarily a measuring stick, but I thought it would be a great opponent to see exactly where we were as a football team, seeing if we could come back and match what we did last week on the road versus Detroit in the opener and the Eagles. While the total score wasn't as high as it was last week, this was a more dominating performance from both sides of the football. Started off with the opening drive. Jalen Hurts, flawless, put the Eagles up 7-0, and I think the Minnesota Vikings were on their heels from that point moving forward.
I mean, Jalen Hurts goes 10 for 10 to start this game, right? And then you look at the defense. I mean, 4 out of the first 5 drives go 3 and out on defense. Then you come out in the second half, 3 of the first 4 drives end in interceptions. You could not ask for a better defensive performance against Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen, the rest of that Vikings offense. This defense came to play. This game was going to be a fun one to break down.
In the kickoff show, we talked a lot about, and this was the talk around the Novacare complex all week, was how are the Eagles going to distribute the football after A.J. Brown went off last week? Well, how about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players caught at least one pass from Jalen Hurts. DeVonta Smith, 7 receptions for 80 yards on the day. That's what you want to see from this offense. He has the weapons. That's no secret. But then he was spreading it out in the air, on the ground. They did it all, like.
They really did. I mean, he and Shane Steichen was like hand in glove tonight. Great game plan coming out, gave Jalen Hurts a lot of options to be able to attack this Minnesota defense, where Green Bay left a lot of points and plays on the board last week versus this Viking defense. The Eagles were able to take advantage of that, and I love what Jalen was doing tonight. I mean, he's spreading the ball all around. This deep pass to Quez Watkins, and then watch this. You watch Jalen get to the outside. There's a chance to throw the ball, and nobody decides to keep it. And listen, we're going to live with Jalen being able to do this because he's a tough competitor. I know he knows how to judge when to go in, out of bounds versus staying in bounds, and that's an opportunity right there where he saw he could get the football in the end zone, lowers his head, gets in there. Just another great play from Jalen Hurts tonight. But I'll tell you, Fran and Ella, what I love most about Jalen, he was able to run the ball when the opportunity presented itself. But I didn't think, especially in the passing game, he didn't look to run the ball tonight. He really stayed back there in the pocket. Minnesota played a little more zone tonight. I thought they would. Really forces him to sit back there and read the coverage, and he did that to perfection. I mean, you could see him back there in the pocket scanning the field, sometimes getting to his third progression, even his dump off in the flats to the running backs. Just a great game by Jalen. Over 300 total yards in the first half. Reminded me of what Mike Vick did on a Monday night down in Washington back in 2010, I believe it was. Yeah, where you just could, everything he did worked that night. I thought that's the type of game Jalen had, particularly in the first half.
According to John Goedert from Eagles PR, Jalen Hurts the first quarterback to have over 300 yards in a first half since Michael Vick in that game.
Makes
so
sense,
I agree.
Makes
Good
sense,
job on your part. To me, what's amazing about this game, guys, 486 total yards on offense, but the Eagles did not have a player go for more than 82 yards rushing or receiving. 82 yards for Dallas Goedert. He's the leading yardage getter on this offense. 80 yards for Miles Sanders. 80 yards for DeVonta Smith. 69 yards for Dallas Goedert. 69 yards for Quez Watkins. You just spread the ball around across the board. I think when you look at the way they were able to diversify, couldn't get that word out, I'm so excited, diversify this pass game, diversify this rushing attack, just outstanding stuff from this Eagles offense. I can't wait to break this film down just because they did it in so many different ways. Play action, screen game, empty sets. You saw how many slots or reps with DeVonta Smith in the slot, working against linebackers and safeties. So you get all the different formations. Just so much fun here from Shane Steichen. Outstanding game plan, outstanding execution. 7 of 9 to start the game on third down. This is a team that came out. They were prepared, and they came through with this game plan.
Yeah, if Jalen's going to play like this from the pocket, throwing the football, the sky's the limit as far as what this football team can do. And we've yet to get into the outstanding performance that the defense had starting really the entire game. To hold this Vikings offense to 7 points, Fran mentioned it. Justin Jefferson has the argument as the best wide receiver in all of football, and he was pretty much quiet tonight. Dalvin Cook, easily one of the top 5 running backs in all of football. You almost didn't know he was out there on the field tonight. And Kirk Cousins is better than a serviceable quarterback. And fans that were worried about the performance from the defense last week, I think that was sheer knocking a little rust off, not playing as much in the preseason. But once you get one game under your belt, you see how much of a difference it is the second week for this defense. Much better tackling out there tonight. They got out to Kirk Cousins eventually. And more importantly, the defense and the passing game showed up tonight. I mean, Kirk Cousins has the ability to put up a 300-yard passing game on you. We know he's had success against us in the past. I thought tonight, Darius Slay, my goodness. I mean, this is why you pay that guy the big bucks that you pay him. And here's what I love about Darius Slay. Slay, big play Slay. I'm sorry, D.
He doesn't like Darius.
This is what I love about big play Slay. He wanted number 18 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to match up on number 18 tonight. I didn't see as much bracket help and double coverage as I thought I was going to see in this game. Slay did an outstanding job on Justin Jefferson tonight.
Well, Eagles fans, if you can't tell, Ike's pretty excited. So we have a new feature for you on this show. It's called Ask Ike. Go to the Facebook comments, ask him the questions. He's caffeinated, so he'll be ready to go. Throw him his way.
God help
all right? God help us. That's exactly right. All right, we're going to go over to Lincoln Financial Field, where Eagles insider Dave Spadaro joins us live from that electric atmosphere here tonight. Dave, we started talking about Jalen Hurts and the game he put on the field tonight. What are your initial thoughts after his performance?
Brilliance. And I want to point to a sequence that I thought was really significant. End of the first half, Eagles pinned down at their 5-yard line, and Nick Sirianni gives Jalen Hurts the opportunity to drive the field. He starts the drive with a 9-yard run. Another Kenny Gainwell gets the first down, and then he goes to the air, and it's 16 yards to DeVonta Smith, and then it's a couple of completions to Dallas Goedert, and all of a sudden the Eagles are sitting there at the end of the first half, and Jake Elliott nails a 38-yard field goal to end it. The Eagles go up 24-7. I thought it was so critical because the Eagles were pinned back there, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, look, if the Eagles are going to kneel on the ball here and Minnesota gets a quick 3-and-out, they've got timeouts, they get the ball back at the end of the first half, they have good field position, then they get the ball at the beginning of the second half. You never know how that 21-7 lead is going to go. But look, Jalen Hurts, the way he ran the football, the power that he showed on both of his touchdown runs, dragging 3 defensive players into the end zone, as Ike and talked about, like throwing from the pocket, just beautiful. Fran, the way the Eagles changed the formations and so showed such creativity and spread the football around. 486 yards against the defense that last week flummoxed Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It was a great performance, and I had just about to write that for the second straight week, no interceptions, no giveaways, and then Kenny Gainwell had the ball bounce off his hands. But that really wasn't on Jalen at all. Just a magnificent performance from a quarterback who is clearly advanced from where he was last year.
It was gutsy, aggressive. They cut it loose, Dave. Let's go to the defensive side of the football. Darius Slay, Avonte Maddox, TJ Edwards with 10 total tackles. What'd you think of their performance today?
From the very first play, I was in the press box with Ike, and I think the first completion to Jefferson, everybody just swarmed to the football. And that's what you have to do against an offense like this. You all have to rally to the ball. And it sounds like, why wouldn't you rally to the football? That's what every defense does. But it really isn't what every defense does. And I thought that really was the mindset of this defense tonight. They rallied to the football. They did a great job against the Minnesota run game. Dalvin Cook contained. Adam Thielen contained. And Darius Slay showed tonight why he is a premier cornerback, because he not only had 2 picks and 4 passes defensively, he probably had a chance to get another 1 or 2 interceptions with the football on his hands. It was a great performance from the defense. And by the way, they were stung all week. I mean, they were aware of the criticism from the media, from the fans, of the performance in Detroit. They came out tonight and put on a primetime performance.
We have the big man, Big Play Slay, at the podium.
You put yours up first?
Slay.
Screw that questions.
I can ask a question, but there's nobody. See, the problem is you delayed everybody by talking to Hart and the football and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Here they come.
What up, what up?
All right, we're going to get started here. Looks like all the press is coming in now.
Slay, did you have more incentive because it was Justin Jefferson on the other side tonight?
I mean, I ain't gonna say it like that, but because I'm always eager to go. I'm always ready to go at all time. I don't take no matchup lightly. But he is one of the best in the world. And, I'm one of the best in the world, too. So I was looking forward to the matchup.
What's the backstory of giving James Harden the ball?
Say it again?
What's the story about giving James Harden?
Well, honestly, I didn't even know he was there into the game until they put him on the Jumbotron. And he one of my favorite players. And, but, I'm like, why not? You know what I'm saying? I get a chance to meet James Harden, a Hall of Fame basketball player. If I make a play tonight, definitely a pick. I got to give him the ball, man, because he real respected in the league. One of my favorite, like I said. So I was like, hey, it's a good opportunity.
You think that's the type of game for you that can get you more respect nationally?
I mean, I got a lot of respect, but you know how it always go, man. The older you get, they think you're falling out, but I ain't one of them guys, man. I'm still at an elite level. I deserve a lot of respect in this league. I think the league respect me enough. It just be the media.
Did the offense help you guys on defense be a little bit more aggressive and help get more pressure and help you guys?
Oh, yeah, man. They always be aggressive. Coach, one thing about Coach, man, he's trying to put up points. And the thing we do always thing is about us, we just try to stop them from scoring. So we know our offense, what they're capable of doing. So with them putting their foot down like that and going, putting 24 points up, we expect to win.
Slay, you're very active on social media. Are you aware of how much flack Gannon and your defense sometimes gets when your performances are kind of up in the points totals?
Yeah, I mean, I understand it, but, like we was talking about as in the group, man, we know our first game, that was us, as a unit. We didn't tackle well, we didn't execute well, and that got a lot to do with just, preseason, but it's still no excuse. It's not Gannon that's out there playing. Gannon just giving us the call, so we just got to execute it. And he was in a lot of great situations that we just didn't make the play. But tonight, we was on the other foot. We had in our mindset to go out here and dominate and play this game with a lot of effort and a lot of talent. And guys was out there just executing their job, man. And that's what we do, man. Coach put us in a great position to win.
How good was it for you guys to shut down that receiver core? They're pretty good, Thielen and Jefferson. How good was it?
It's a very talented group, man. They very talented. You see what they're capable of doing. But, we got talented guys, too. JB, Tay, we got great rush, myself, got Epps, we got everybody. We got a good group, man. We could really be a great group, man. We continue to keep working. CD is just, man, you see him flying around out there today. He's going crazy. And, but we ready for any challenge, man. And that's why we all here for, to be the best. I really believe he could dunk now. I usually think he couldn't dunk, but that vert showed me he can dunk. The thing about it is, can he palm the ball? I don't know about that. He might have to catch an alley or something.
You guys are one of 3 undefeated teams in the NFC right now.
feel like it's kind of there for you guys right now?
Nah, it's early, but we got to keep going, man. We still left a lot out there, so we got to go clean up some tape, execute a lot better, and continue to keep moving forward.
Like on your second pick in the end zone, Zach was coming in to replace you because it looked like you were maybe a little tied up or whatever. Did you wave him off there?
Yeah, I had to wave him off. I'm a tough dude. I'm not going to put him in that position right now. It was a clutch situation. Our offense just turned the ball over. Only but the great players rise at that time of the moment. And that's what in my eyes, I just like, all right, Slay, you can't do that. Go out here and execute. And we was in the red zone, thankfully. Huh? No, I just felt awkward. I'll be all right. Tough dude.
What did Harden say when you gave him the ball?
He just said much respect, man. He was shocked that I gave it to him too, but I told him, man, like, you're one of my favorites. Respect your game. Shoot, I'm just looking forward to seeing him doing the same thing, going crazy.
To get 3 interceptions and deep in your own territory, how big of an impact on momentum do you guys feel when stuff like that happens?
Great, man. We believe it. We had a great red zone plan. And it executed, turn over the ball. So what our job is just not to let them score. So every time we went out there, they don't get nothing. But if it is something, it's going to be 3. And they kept putting the ball in the air in the red zone, and we got great ball hawks. So we just attacked the ball.
In addition to the interceptions,
Second?
In addition to the picks, you guys were aggressive with PBUs. Was that a focal point tonight, being aggressive on the ball?
That's always. But, this offense is a little bit more different than last week. Last week was like an offense that was condensed a lot. So this game right here, we could have pressed a lot more, could have get a little good active. So that's why we made a lot of plays. Our D-line was making great rushes, making them a little nervous back there. We real good at chucking and ducking.
How many picks should you have had tonight?
I should have had 3.
Did you talk to Jefferson at all? Did he talk to you?
We chopped it up during the game. I just told him respect. Like, I really honestly believe he's the second best receiver in this league. He can honestly take over the first one, if he continue to keep doing what he's doing. But Tay Adams pretty good too, so it would be hard to try to take that spot. But he's a really talented guy, man. Like, gave him as much respect because I respect every player, man. What he done in the past 3 years is unmatched. And he's a very talented dude, man. All he did today was make me a better player today, make me a smarter player, salute to his hat off for him. But, yeah, it was good, though. Good battle.
What happened with the ball for the second interception? What did you do with that?
Oh, I kept that one. I'll probably go get it to my son because Jet his favorite receiver, so I got to give it to him.
After the first pass breakup, they kind of came over and celebrated with you guys. What did he say? And
say who?
Sirianni. Seemed like he came over and celebrated with you guys on the sideline.
The first what?
The first pass breakup.
Oh, shoot. He just told me to keep doing what I'm doing. Go ball out.
All right, Coach is coming in.
Coach is coming in.
Hey, Mike. Hey, what's up, brother? Got the national media here now.
Nick, what stood out to you tonight about Jalen's performance?
Yeah, it was a big-time performance by him. Obviously in the run game and in the pass game, great run. He had both of his touchdown runs were outstanding runs. Really, the one I know it was only 4 yards out, but it reminded me of that New Orleans one he made last year. So, big-time performance and a big-time stage.
What about as a passer?
Yeah, same. How many yards did he have? 333 with 83%. You know the stats.
If the pass down the seam to Dallas to set up that field goal, that answers a lot of questions about him. He stays in the pocket, he gets hit by a big guy, puts it, inside 3 guys. In a part of the field he isn't known for throwing to. What can you say about, I guess, that play and what he did?
Yeah, that was a huge play. We had a timeout, and with 15 seconds left, that was the one that obviously got us in the field goal range to get those 3 points at the end of the half. So he was in complete control that whole drive, and I thought that play was outstanding. Right, when a guy makes a play with a little bit of presence in his face and makes that type of throw, that's a huge play. Read the coverage perfectly, went with the plays. We ran that play earlier in the drive, and DeVonta. It was slightly different, but the ball went to DeVonta. Then you get a different coverage, and it goes to Dallas. So, that's just being in complete control and taking what the defense gives you, and it was a big-time play by him that got us points.
Nick,
With all the work that you put in the last year, would you say that the game at this point is kind of slowing down for him and all that compared to last year, and given all the work that he's put in over?
He's put in so much work, and of course, it has. It's slowing down, but it should, right, for him at this point, because he's a year out. He's a year ahead of. He's a year further into his process, and we're talking about getting better every day, and he lives that. He's one of our captains. He's one of our leaders, and he lives the theory of getting better every day, and that's why you're seeing major improvements, because of the type of person and the type of the player he is.
How much does it benefit play calling that the change wasn't made mid-season?
I'm sorry?
How much did it benefit the offensive play calling that Shane was? You guys don't come in and not have to change things like you did. I know it wasn't a huge shift last year, but it was still a shift.
Yeah, I don't think it was all that quite that different. It just let me be in more control as far as the situations of the game. Like you saw us kind of go down the field, and we're able to utilize our time in the 2-minute drill.
You had a field goal block, and Aaron is able to run.
I get you.
Cornerback.
It's a huge play. Yeah. We obviously talk to our offense a lot about. We talk to our offense an awful lot about if there's a turnover, we got to go and make that tackle, just like our offense did. And, we have a ton of team meetings about situational football, and that's a situation within the game that you got to be able to react and go. And it somehow got into Aaron's head too, right? To be like, I got to get this guy down and let the defense play defense here. So, that's just all the situational work we've done. Obviously, that's great speed by Aaron to track him down, and great effort by Aaron to track him down. And our defense got a turnover with DeVonta right after that. So, that's just guys, given of themselves to their teammates too, like to track him down like that. It was a heck of a tackle. I'm not sure. I knew that. Yeah, and his jets are not on display very often, and so I'm not sure I knew that. That was impressive. He's a rugby guy, so I'm sure there's some tape somewhere. We'll find it. We'll find the tape.
Slay did on Justin Jefferson. What was kind of like the key for that, and what was your plan as far as him following Jefferson?
Yeah, there was. You can't just go in with one plan. First of all, the defensive staff did an unbelievable job of. With the plan, and the guys did an unbelievable job of executing it. And you don't just go in with one, put all your eggs in one basket, right? And so there was different disguises, there were different coverages, but make no mistake about it, a lot of it was to stop number 18. He's a heck of a football player, but when Slay had to cover him one-on-one, he did an unbelievable job. When you bring all the guys that on Slay's second interception, really on the one before that too, right? That could have been an interception. You can't help, and there's no help when you bring all those guys, right? You're in cover 0, and Slay got sticky in the coverage and made an interception, and that's what we see Slay do, over and over again. One of the reasons I always think that our receivers are taking steps in the right direction and getting better is because of the work they have to do to go against Slay and James in practice, and DeVonta and Zach McPherson and all those guys. So, Slay. That's why he's one of our captains. The way he plays, the way he studies, the way he leads.
How important was it for the defense to bounce back after the way last week ended?
Yeah. Obviously, it wasn't up to our standard last week. All the defense players will be the first ones to tell you that. And our job as coaches to put them in the best position we possibly can. And so that was an important bounce back game for us defensively. And I think that again, it was a full team defensive game, and we talk about Slay, the job he did on Jefferson, but the coach is putting the guys in the right position and the assault of the pocket that our front our front guys and our front 7 really got with some of the pressures, and then when it was 4-man rush.
On the opening script, what was the focus point?
On the opening script, what was the focus point? What we did there. Obviously, you saw we went no huddle. And we wanted to go get a fast start. That right there, there were some things that happened in that drive. It wasn't exclusively to go no huddle, but the way the drive was going, we adjusted and we just said, all right, let's keep going with this. And Shane did a great job of calling it. Our guys did a great job of executing it, and we felt like we had them on their heels in that scenario. and we felt like they were tired. Now, we were tired too, there's no doubt, right? A 12-play drive, I think it was, to start the game. And we were tired too, but our guys did a really nice job of, being able to finish that drive off. And there were penalties, and we got to address the penalties. There was too many of those. But we were able to dig ourselves out of that hole. Jalen made a great play to AJ. And so it was executing on third down and then going a little bit of tempo.
Couple more, please. Last week, that phrase complete control with Jalen. He's still a young quarterback. You've been around a lot of veteran quarterbacks. Does that part of it surprise you at all? How much control he has of this whole?
I think that it doesn't surprise me in the sense of that's how practices looked, right? That he's went to the right place with the football, versus different looks. And so a great indicator of how we're going to play in games is how we practice. And not just this week, right? Not just last week, but also throughout training camp and OTAs. And so I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I've seen the growth of him. And again, we talk about this so much with Jalen. Like, why is Jalen going to continue to reach his ceiling? Because he's tough. He's got high football character, and he loves football. And so he's going to reach his ceiling, and it's fun watching him grow.
Late in the second quarter, you made a couple throws to DeVonta in the middle of the field. And they're kind of dropping back in that zone and kind of saying, throw it.
Mm-hmm.
And you did. How big is that?
Yeah, it was huge. Again, it was just, taking what the defense gave him and finding, obviously that play has more than, just DeVonta. It goes to the next one and he gets to, maybe DeVonta was the first read, maybe it was the second read, but he was getting to where he needed to go. And again, he just took what was there for him, right? And some of the coverage they were playing, they were clouding on the outside. So when you play cover 2 on the outside, it takes away some of the outside throws at times, and so he has to react and take what the defense obviously gives him, and he did that, a good job of that tonight.
All right, guys, we got Smitty in hall.
I'm sorry?
Of all the things Jalen did, what impressed you?
Shoot. 83% passing. With that many attempts, what was he, 26 33? Yeah, that's pretty darn impressive. Yeah.
How y'all doing?
DeVonta, after week 1, no catches there, what was it like being part of the offense early and often? You got a target on the first play of the game for the Eagles and being a threat the rest of the game.
Like I said, when the ball comes to you, got to make the most of your opportunities. So, just going out there, us as an offense, executing, everybody got their opportunities and everybody made the most of them.
Did you know, was the call all week that play was going to go to you on the first play?
You always script out your openers of your plays. So, we all knew what the play was.
You said earlier in the week that you thought you were a little sloppy at the opener. Get things corrected.
Gotta watch the film. I feel like right now I did, but gotta watch the film and see how it looked.
Of all the things Jalen did tonight, what impressed you most?
Him just stacking on what he did last week. Him continuing to come in, day in, and just doing his job. Going out there, making everybody better, holding everybody accountable, running the offense.
You seem to get a lot of separation, DeVonta, not just you, the offense as a whole. Was there something about Minnesota's defense that you guys kind of knew coming in that you could exploit?
I say that's all about our preparation. The way we prepared this week, everybody came in, did what they're supposed to do, locked in on small details.
Those 2 catches you had in the second quarter, kind of middle of the field, because you guys were driving down for the field goal. Can you kind of just talk about the throws that Jalen made and what you did to kind of get over there?
That was us being on the same page. We went out there, they called the play. He made a check, and we were on the same page. So that comes down to the communication part of it, and him just trusting in me trusting in him that we were going to be on the same page and making it happen.
What have you seen from the offense so far, as far as the offense's potential, just from the first 2 games? What have you seen?
Like I said last week, you never know whose game is going to be. Today it just happened to be everybody. Everybody did what they're supposed to do, and next week you never know. So just being ready when your number is called and making the most of your opportunities.
Today is everybody's. How dangerous does that make you? Knowing that you or AJ or Dallas
I mean, it's tough for defenses. I mean, you can't key in on one guy. You never know who the ball is going to. You never know what to expect. A lot. I mean, you always want to go out there and set the tone. And, I mean, that's the main thing. Whether it's the offense going out there first or the defense going out there first, you got to be the tone setter. So, I mean, we were out there first, and that's what we did.
Caller, what kind of message did Shane have for you this week leading up in the game in terms of getting you involved?
I mean, nothing was different, just making the most of your opportunity. I mean, when the ball comes to you, you can catch it and do what you do.
You need to come to you separately and talk to you, Shane?
I mean, we knew what it was as an offense. We knew what we were going to do, knew what the game plan was. So, I mean, we just went out there and executed.
I don't know how much you watch the defense when you're on the sidelines, but what do you think of what they were able to do?
I watched the defense a lot. I mean, they did what they had to do. I mean, defense held it down. I mean, that was the message this week. Just going out there, keep stacking. Last week, as offense and defense, we both felt like we could have did better. I mean, tonight we went out there and we did that.
How about your buddy Slay? What he was able to do?
He was supposed to have 3 picks, man. I told him he got to get on jugs with me. We got to catch them, especially when they're giving them to you.
You guys went with tempo early. What does that do for an offense?
I mean, it confuses the defense because you can't just sit up there and get the calls that they want to. So just pushing the tempo, always keeping them on their toes, I mean, it helps us a lot.
DeVonta, you played a lot of games with Jalen across both college and the pros. What's different about him now than the guy you played with initially in Alabama all those years ago?
I wouldn't say nothing is really different. It's just the mental approach that he has to the game. I mean, he's mentally sharp in everything that he does, and I mean, that's what separates him.
Good. Thanks,
Thank y'all.
We heard from Slay, Sirianni, DeVonta Smith. How about that outfit, Ike? The guys were pulling up tonight from Monday Night Football in some drip. I think we have some images of them walking into Lincoln Financial Field tonight. Let's take a look.
Well, the one thing they
Maybe
do
not.
is,
There we go. There he is. That's what he was wearing with
It's gonna be a
Quez.
nationally televised game. I mean, look at this. This is, first of all, I'm old. I'm too old to be wearing any of these types of outfits. When they started making suits with shorts, and that's when I knew I was too old. DeVonta considers himself a little bit of a fashionista, and this is probably a good look for him. Probably a good look for him. I like the color. It's in season. Little salmon there, right? That's what he's rocking with. And who we got here? CJ? CJ, who we got here?
It's Quez.
Quez.
Is that
yeah.
Quez? Okay. So I got both receivers rolling in here.
They pulled up.
Listen, I like the double-breasted look right there from from Quez Watkins. That's a nice look there. And DeVonta, pretty good. I couldn't pull that off, but he's much younger than I am, so he can pull it off.
He's got the nice thin legs. They look good in a little shorts suit set situation.
That's the part I'm kind of worried about. On the legs a little bit too much there. A little bit too much.
I'm just staying out of that conversation. I've got nothing to add on that one.
Let Ike handle the fashion analysis. You take care of that.
I got to stay in my lane here.
But then I'll get pointed out as being old, right? Because the fashion today is so, man, it's so out there that you almost have to be a little different as far as what you're putting on coming to the games. And so, back when I was playing, it was a suit and tie.
In my day.
That's how you came to the game. Nowadays, man, it's you don't know if they're going to the game or they're going to a club.
Get off my lawn, says
It's a good look, though. It's a good look for the young fellas.
You can see the other looks that the Eagles were sporting on all of our social platforms. Well, we started a new segment called Ask Ike. So fans have been in the Facebook comments asking Ike a bunch of questions. We have our first one. Let's see what we got, Ike. Ike, what surprises you most about the team in these first 2 games? That's from Andre Cruz.
What surprises me the most? I got to say how well Jalen Hurts and how much he has developed at the quarterback position. You hear about it during the offseason that he's getting better. Coach Sirianni talked about this a few months ago when they first saw him in the OTAs. They saw a difference in his throwing motion, in his mechanics. But as an observer that's not around the team as much, sometimes you don't know until you actually get a chance to watch him play in the games. And through the first 2 games, my goodness, he is operating the quarterback position with total efficiency, whether he's running the ball or he's throwing the ball. I'm loving what I'm seeing. And last week, Detroit thought they could speed up his process of thinking by sending extra blitzes at him, and he was able to burn them with his legs last week. So I thought Minnesota would come in and try something a little different, play a little more zone. They did. He sat back there in the pocket, scanned the field, made it to his second and third progressions that time, and really threw the ball with precision. He was decisive in where he wanted to go with the football, and when he had to extend plays, he was doing it, keeping his eyes down the field. He has really operated the first 2 weeks, man, like one of the best quarterbacks in football, and he is still only 24 years old.
And what I love about it, too, it goes back to what we talked about, the offensive sequencing from a play design standpoint, all the different things offensively that this team did, calling plays tonight, screen game, play action, RPOs, empty sets, moving guys around. There is nothing wrong with making it easy for the quarterback. When you go back and look at some of the best seasons with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, and you go right down the list of all the best quarterbacks, Josh Allen, all those teams were high up in all of those things I just brought up. Some of those things really make things easier for the quarterback, keep things more well-defined, and I thought we saw a lot of that tonight from this Eagles offense.
Well, real quick, Eagles fans, you can get to those Facebook comments, ask Ike some questions. We'll keep answering them as the show goes on. We're still talking about Jalen Hurts a little bit. I think it's important to point out, too, that he wasn't the leading rusher on this Eagles offense today. Last season, he was the leading rusher for much of the season, especially while Miles Sanders was out. I think that's important to note because it shows both the development in his passing game, but also shows that they're spreading it out on the ground as well.
Yeah, and that's what you need to do. We don't mind Jalen using his legs because it's an asset that he has that a lot of quarterbacks in this league don't have, but he has the ability to extend plays, pick up first downs with his legs. But I love the fact that he was back there throwing the ball tonight, and it gave them, when they got the lead, an opportunity to give Miles Sanders an opportunity to run the football. Kenny Gainwell being involved in the running game. Boston Scott had some explosive plays there in the first half. I mean, this Eagles offense is going to be difficult to contain when they're operating in the way that they have the first 2 weeks.
I mean, Hurts starts 10 for 10 for 153 yards, 2 total touchdowns. That first incompletion was actually a beautiful throw, layering over the defender right into Dallas Goedert's hands, and it falls incomplete when the defender does a nice job poking it out. I think when you look at Jalen, again, the decisiveness, the ability to spread the ball around to a variety of different targets, that was what was most impressive from him, for me, in this game. I'm excited to go back and watch the film.
I believe we have another question from Ike.
Okay.
Is that correct? Another Ask Ike. Here we go. Ike, how does this team match up with the 04 team? You got to dig back in the archives, Ike.
I got to go a long way back. I got the 2017 team, the 04 team.
I mean, you're coming up with a 20-year anniversary now.
Oh, yeah.
Not to show your age or
anything.
I
will say this. That team obviously was a special team. You're talking about 10 Pro Bowlers on that team. This team isn't that far from that team. There are a lot of similarities. A.J. Brown, T.O., you got Donovan with Jalen over there, the multiple weapons. You know, obviously Westbrook, I thought that was his first year, is really being a special player in the NFL. And while we don't necessarily have a Brian Westbrook on our team, the fact that we have a collection of running backs that can give us that production, that works just as well. Defensively, I think they're just as good. I mean, they can be very opportunistic. I mean, we had guys like Jeremiah Trotter, and our secondary was great that year. Obviously, Brian Dawkins was in that secondary. There isn't another Brian Dawkins. But I think when you look at the overall unit, I like what I saw tonight, and I expect them to continue to get better as the season goes along. The one thing we had at that time was the experience and the seasoning from the prior years of being a playoff team every year. So when you added T.O. and Javon Curse to that team, it just took us to a whole nother level, confidence-wise as well. I think this team is starting to realize how good they can be. They didn't come in to the season like we did that year, feeling like we were the bullies in the NFC East. They came in saying we got something to prove, and they've shown that the first 2 weeks. So I would say by the time this season is over with, they could be just as good as that 04 team.
Well, with that, we have the quarterback himself, Jalen Hurts, at the podium.
I think. Thank you. I think for us, I think we just came out and we played very efficient. You know, I talked about last week. last week I talked about the inconsistencies and the urgency, the communication and the operation, and that starts with me. And obviously we operated at a high level early on in the game. And I think that's something that we have to be able to sustain throughout the whole entire game, regardless of the situation. And that starts with everybody. But I think as a whole, as a team, coming out here, playing on Monday Night Football, I remember what happened the last time we played on Monday Night Football. I haven't forgot about that, and to be able to come out here and perform at a high level as a team, that's big for us. To perform at a high level and still leave so much money on the table. So, I'm sure y'all saw the little video in the locker room last week. It's exactly the same message this week. In terms of the standard not being met, and I think, like I said, we have a standard for ourselves, and it only rises. A hell of a game tonight, but there's a hell of a lot to learn from. And as a football team, as a collective group, we got to learn from it.
You used a lot of your playmakers tonight. You spread the ball around pretty evenly. Is this kind of the way the offense is supposed to look?
Whatever's getting us wins, that's how it rolls. I've said all week that I just want to win. I don't care how it looks. I don't care if that's me rushing a lot, if that's Miles rushing a lot, if that whatever it looks like, whatever it takes, whatever it takes.
Jalen, you guys use tempo early. How does that help you and the offense as a whole?
I just think it's something that you have to be able to do sometimes. It allows us to play fast and react to what the defense is giving us.
You were on fire early in that game. You went a while without an incomplete pass. At what point did you kind of feel like you were in rhythm?
I guess when you watch the game, you kind of get a sense of how it's going. I guess when you're in the midst of the game, I'm so locked in on just trying to do my job, execute my assignments, get the ball to where it's supposed to be, execute the technique of the play. And it was very efficient tonight, and that's the type of football that we want to play. We want to play consistently. We want to be that way consistently. Like I said, I'm still thinking about how we finished the game, and how we finished the game is not a reflection of how we started the game, and that's something that we have to learn from and build off of and be better at moving forward.
In camp, you spoke about maybe things slowing down a little bit for you the second year in the offense. Are you finding that in the games? Is that maybe one of the biggest improvements or things you're seeing here?
I think everything comes with time, and it's the same things that I've always said. It all comes with time, and as time goes, you find more comfort in what you're doing. You find more of a niche of what that looks like for you, and I think as an offense, as a collective group, Coach Sirianni, Stike, Brian, myself, we put so much work in to trying to make things efficient and trying to be efficient. I said it earlier, no man is an island. You must draw your strength from others. I can't perform without the other 10 on the field. And same on the other side. They need me to do my job for them to eat. So it's a collective group. It was a big team win, a big-time team win. It's something that we'll definitely enjoy, but we have a short week and we're headed to D.C. So we'll enjoy it for a little bit and get ready for the next opponent.
The crowd was rocking. You had Bryce Harper in the front row. You met with James Harden in the hallway here after the game. How much fun were you having tonight?
Now that's nice. That's nice. That's Philly. You know what I mean? That's Philly. I know the support I have for the Sixers. Talking to Bryce, meeting the process. You know what I'm saying? Supporting them. Having that type of environment in the city. That's a winning culture. And it's great to see those guys out there tonight. That's what Philly is. That's what Philly's all about.
John, you mentioned Shane Steichen. You mentioned before about being in the second year in offense. How much does it benefit you having him as your play caller now for the second straight season?
Like I said, it's the first time it's ever been this way since I was in high school. And in high school, I saw the benefits of it. So I guess you can say you can see the benefits of it now, not just for me, but as a group. You know, everything in this game we do, if you want to have success, you have to, number one, be on the same page. That's the first step. That's the first thing you have to do. And I think that's something that we've definitely done a better job of. And if we're not on the same page, we get there, and we do it in a productive way. So it's a collective team effort, coaches and players. It's a collective effort of us trying to find the best way to get wins for this football team, and we just want to take it day by day with it.
The last drive of the first half, you guys got the ball like at your 5-yard line and go over that. To come out of that, go down the field and get a field goal. What does that say about
Well, I think for us, for coach to have the trust in us, you know, you probably see some teams, okay, we got a lead, let's just bleed it out, you know. But coach had trust in us to go out there, execute, get the ball down the field, and ultimately have one of the best kickers in the game, Jake, go out there and do what he does best. And that's great execution right there. I want to point out how well the defense played. They have a big-time receiver over there, a great quarterback, and they played well all night. So it was a great team win. We showed up.
What left you most pleased?
I tell you what left me most unpleased was how we finished the game on offense. How we finished the game kind of, you know, how to keep our foot on the gas.
When you start the way you game, you started personally, 2 running touchdowns and a passing touchdown. Obviously, we're close to that injury, but it happened kind of early stretch you guys had.
I don't think it matters how we score as long as we're putting points on the board. And I think that word execution, are we executing? Execution fuels emotion. You know what I mean? When you do your job, when you're doing it at a high level, everybody feeds off of that. Everybody turns up off of that. It fuels emotion. And when we're able to go out there and play the type of ball we play early on, everybody, there's a different type of belief. So it's something to definitely build off of. I'm pointing out the good and the bad from this game, but it's definitely something to build off of. And like last week, I feel like from last week to this week, we took steps as a football team, a little more crisp, not as many dead plays, and we just played better as a group. We played together in both weeks, I think. But now we just have to take that next step, and that's the challenge going into this week.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, guys.
That was quarterback Jalen Hurts saying they're going to enjoy this win, but it's a short week, and on to Washington they go. As for his leading receiver, Dallas Goedert, we have him from the locker room.
And what was working for you right out of the gates today?
Yeah, credit to coach. We had a good game plan coming in. We were going to get to the line, go tempo, try to wear them out, get them tired, and then go from there. But, we executed. We communicated really well, and, Jalen was doing his thing out there. It was fun to be out there with him. Shoot, besides throwing me the ball, probably his second touchdown run where I was lead blocking, he followed, that gets me going. You're going to have a lot of touchdowns this year. It was fun. But no, that long 26-yard touchdown run was pretty sweet.
So
you in the middle of that play, as you're ahead of him?
Nah, it's just more like I played with Jalen enough that I feel like I know what he's thinking, he knows what I'm thinking, and he makes plays, and it's just fun to be out there with him.
There were so many questions about Jalen's arm coming into the season. What do you think he proved tonight, and how happy were you for him to be able to see that?
Yeah, I don't know who was worried about that, but I know nobody in the building was worried about his arm. We got full confidence in the man, and, he comes and shows it every week.
There were some concerns last week. You got the win, but you guys were a little uneasy about everything. Do you think you fixed that?
We definitely weren't perfect today. We left a lot out on the table. But, that's a part of football. It's still early in the season. We'll be back to work on Wednesday, trying to fix it all and get better.
On that 26-yard run, were you surprised that Jalen got to the goal line?
No, he never surprises me. Like I say all the time, he's an explosive player. It doesn't matter when he starts scrambling, people are in trouble.
We started off the show with Jalen Hurts' 53-yard touchdown pass to Quez Watkins earlier tonight. Fran broke it all down in this week's Ricoh Review.
All right, so for this week's Rico review, I want to take a look back to the first half touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts to Quez Watkins. Quez wide open on this play. This is the longest touchdown for Jalen Hurts' career in terms of total air yards down the field. Great deep ball touchdown. How did Quez get wide open? Let's take a look at the film and see exactly what they showed us on the broadcast. What you see here from the Eagles, a 12 personnel set. You're going to see 2 tight ends on the field and 2 wide receivers. You've got Quez Watkins here at the bottom of the screen, and you've got DeVonta Smith at the top. Now, one thing I love, you've got a condensed set from the Eagles. Everybody crunched in between the numbers here. So this is a run look if you're the Minnesota Vikings. You can see they've got a little bit of a crowded box and a soft shell. You've got soft off coverage on the outside, and what you have here, a split safety look from the Minnesota Vikings. You've got 2 safeties playing deep off the ball, and what they're doing is they're splitting the field up in halves. You're going to have a cover 2 look on this side where Harrison Smith, he's responsible for that half of the field, the side of the field where DeVonta Smith is playing on that side. They want to make sure they give some extra safety help to DeVonta Smith on that side. Here, you're going to have the defensive backs split the field into quarters. And what that does is, number one, it gives them extra run support here because you're going to have that safety, Cam Bynum. He's going to be a little bit nosy down here against the run. Obviously, you've got your 2 tight end looks, so you might think if they're going to run the football, we want to be able to be more prepared to defend the run on that side of the formation. So that's what you have pre-snap. Let's take a look now at the route concept because I love this from the Eagles. It's your classic 3-level stretch concept. Quez Watkins, he's attacking downfield on a deep post. You've got Dallas Goedert working the sail route. This is the same play that he caught a touchdown pass on earlier this summer in the preseason opener against the New York Jets. He's running the sail route, and then you've got Jack Stoll working underneath. Now, this is a basic read for Jalen Hurts. When he drops back, really the big thing he's looking for, this safety. If this safety rushes down on the tight end's route, on number 2's route from Dallas Goedert, well, now it's going to be wide open. And all you're going to see here, the corner, he thinks he's got safety help. So he's going to pass Quez Watkins off to that safety, and he's going to try and pick up Dallas Goedert. Well, Dallas Goedert, he is obviously going to break inside. The corner passes the safety off, and the safety drives on this ball. So that's why Quez Watkins is wide open on this deep ball. Nobody is there with him, and if you just let this run a second, you're going to see Dallas Goedert knows it. He did his job. He's got both arms up. He's signaling touchdown before Quez Watkins reaches the 15-yard line. He was able to draw 2 defenders on this play, Dallas Goedert. That allows Quez Watkins to be wide open for a deep ball touchdown over 50 yards in the air. Jalen Hurts to Quez Watkins down the field. Eagles take a commanding lead in the first half. Just an outstanding offensive performance from the Eagles to open this game. A lot of different things on the table for this scheme. Run game, pass game. This is going to be a fun game to break down.
Now is your chance to vote for the Toyota Player of the Week. Go to PhiladelphiaEagles.com/Toyota Player of the Week to cast your vote and get a chance at a brand new Toyota. All right, fellas, here we go. Your 3 nominees, starting it off, of course, with Dallas Goedert. 5 receptions, 82 yards. He had a heck of a game. All right, next up, the quarterback himself, Jalen Hurts. 333 passing yards, a passing touchdown, 11 carries for 2 rushing touchdowns. Big night for QB1. And last but not least, big play Slay. 2 interceptions. He said he should have had 3. DeVonta Smith said he should have had 3, but 2 on the night for Darius Slay. What do we think, guys?
Well, I feel bad for big play Slay.
I mean, first of all, his wife tweeted he should have had 4. So
4.
They're going to have some talks after.
He's going to be in trouble tonight.
So I feel bad for big play Slay because any other game, he would be your player of the game. But Jalen Hurts is a no-brainer tonight. Just almost a flawless game. Just spectacular, man. He did it on the ground. He did it through the air, 300 yards passing. Just an awesome game from Jalen Hurts tonight. I don't know how he's not the player of the game.
There's nothing left for us to say. We've been talking about him all night. QB1's got to be the Toyota Player of the Week, but we'll find out. We'll let the fans decide.
All right, time for the Jameson Nightcap. Short week, quick turnaround, and off to Washington the Eagles go. They're facing former quarterback Carson Wentz down in D.C. Commanders, they had a tough week this week. That score, 36-27. Loss against the Lions doesn't really paint the picture of just how rough that game was for Washington. They finished 2021 7-10, third in the NFC East. They now stand 1-1. The Eagles got to put another win on the board this week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's another divisional opponent. You go on the road. We know all the pomp and circumstances that'll be surrounding that game with that circus, but the Eagles can't get caught up in that. No. They have to focus on trying to get this divisional win on the road. So it won't be easy, but I think our offense should be able to move the ball. Washington's defense has been pretty terrible, and if our defense is going to play like they played tonight, it'll be a long day for number 11 down there in Washington.
I spent the majority of the day watching Washington film on both sides of the football, so getting ready for this matchup. The defense, the Washington defense has not played particularly well up front or on the back end. They're giving up a lot of yardage on the ground, giving up too many big plays through the air. They still like to bring a lot of pressure, so that'll be something to watch here in this game. And then offensively, this team, I think it's a little bit underrated, guys. The run game kind of non-existent to start, but the offensive coordinator down there, Scott Turner, they're drawing up some really interesting plays. Curtis Samuel, a guy we'll be talking about all week. So some matchups certainly we'll be talking about, I think on Eagles Game Plan this week for sure.
Stay tuned to all the content all over PhiladelphiaEagles.com and the social platforms. We'll have you covered before that 1 o'clock kick on Sunday. We'll also have you covered on the kickoff show at 12:10 p.m. Myself and Fran Duffy will get you started. And then we will have you covered on the postgame show, the three of us, to break it all down from Washington. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, go Birds.